Hi team, and welcome to today's Excel tip. So just recently I've returned from a lovely holiday on a cruise ship, and while on the holiday I was helping the team with some of their Excel skills. And one of the things that they asked me to help them with is that they had 900 something guests departing from the ship, and they needed to create a summary. So naturally, one of the functions that we have in Excel is called unique. And unique will allow you to go through a range or a list and identify either the unique values or alternatively the names that are in there. So what we're going to do is have a look at their departure, their guest list departure. Interesting, when I looked at this, and this is really important too when you're actually playing with a lot of data, is to check the quality of that data or how it is structured. So when I did that, what you'll notice that I did a control end, and what it's showing me here is that there are a lot of records that actually don't have a time allocation to it. So if I do a control home again, you'll find that that time only goes down to 300 odd records, and then there was no more. Interesting, and again, watch this. When I got to about row 500, I noticed that there were some records that had some time in it. So what did I do? Well, the first thing I did is that I went in and I sorted based on time. So I brought all of the smallest to largest together. And so now when I went to the bottom here, I've picked up all records and all the remaining records. So when you get back down to that row 500, notice that they have got no time element in them. So again, control home. The next thing I did to prepare the data is I went into the filter and I looked for all of my blank cells. Now, the reason I did this is because I wanted to keep a record of all of the departing guests, and I wanted to be able to respond to this. So again, I just simply double clicked here, and now what it's done is all of those records where either guests were going directly to hotels or they were staying in the town, there was no flight details for that. So again, I've done a control home and I've gone back up to the top, and I'm just going to release that filter I had on here. All right. So what I want to do is, based on the time, it's going to tell me what the flight number or the flight details are and where the destination is. So I'm going to pop over here, and the command is the unique. So remember, starting it with an equal sign, coming on down here and pressing my tab key. So why there are a variety or three elements that you can have to this formula, I'm just going to use the array. So I'm going to now click on the first cell where my time is, putting my finger on shift, and I'm going to do an end down, and I'm doing right a couple of times. So what it's actually doing now is it's selected all of those cells, as you can see up here, and I'm going to do a control enter. So when I do that control home, what I can see here is it's one of these new functions where I put the formula in one cell, and then as you start to click around the results here, you'll notice that the formula is ghosted because it brings back all of the records that are unique. And as I'm doing this, what I'm also seeing here is that all of my time formatting hasn't come across. So if I pop in here, I'm going to select all those cells. I'm going to go into home. I'm going to come over into the number group and change this into time. So now what I've got here is that here is the time of the flight. So you can see here. And if I go in here and look, I've got a variety of people here. I've got 22. And that is the flight identification number and the destination it's going to. So a really simple way for me to go in and extract that unique list. And then what you will see is down the bottom where I've got these different destinations and modes of transport. There were different people that were collecting the guests and where the guests were actually going to. So that's the unique command. Let's just add a little bit more to this. Let's say, for example, now what I want to do is do a count if, or an if count if you like, and actually find out how many people are going here. So that's going to be our next session. And to do that, what I need to do is, first of all, select all that data. I'm going to copy that. And over here, I'm now going to drop in and paste the values. The reason I've done that is because here is just that unique formula. But here now, what I've got is the results of that formula, and I've copied them out. So again, I'm just going to put that time in here. So now let's pop in and have a look to see how we can do this. If I go and equal count, and I'm coming on down to the count if. And in fact, what I'm going to do is do a count if is. So pressing my tab key here, I'm first of all looking for the range that I'm going to test. So the range I'm going to test is here, the time, and I'm going to do a control down arrow, so all the way down. And I'm going to press the function key of F4 because I actually want to lock that range in. From there, I'm going to do a comma. And what am I actually looking for? Well, I'm looking to see that time. So I'm actually looking to see how many occurrences I have got at that time. And now what I'm going to do is, and in fact, I could leave it at that moment and then do a control enter, and it's telling me 22. So again, if I take my mouse to the bottom right, because I made the range an absolute, and this is relative, what it's looking at being here is testing this against all those entries. If I do a double click here, and now what I'm doing is I can now see that for this time here, I've actually got 82 guests that are traveling. For that time there, again, I've got the 82. So as you can see, I've got multiple flight numbers going on here. And that's why I really did need up here to change this. And again, what I'm going to do is test this area. So again, I'm going to do that control and going all the way down to the very bottom. And pop back over here. And coming on down, and I've got all the way to the bottom. Again, I'm going to press that function key of F4, and I'm going to validate this against here. So again, I'm going to leave that as relative, do that control enter. Again, if I do that double click coming down, now what you can see is even though at 10 o'clock, I've got potentially, as I said before, and I can select these, you can see I've got the 82 people potentially departing, but only 36 of those are on this flight, and that's the destination we've got. So a really great way for 900 records to be condensed. You know, if I pop over here and do this, condensed down into basically about 30 records, and then by using the count if is or count ifs, then what I've done is find for them the unique number of people that are traveling, A, at that time, and B, on that flight number. So I hope you've enjoyed the session today. We will put this up live for you to come back and have a play with. And please let me know if there's anything I can help you with. See you soon. Bye.